Liz Cheney, every member of that committee, Jamie Raskin, Kinzinger, Bennie Thompson, and the others, they need to answer for this. They need to answer for records that were destroyed, who ordered them destroyed, what was destroyed, because they destroyed these records. The Democrats controlled the House. Literally weeks before the Republicans took the House, not in this cycle, the cycle before, they started destroying records. And Louderback told me on my radio show, and told all of you, almost no video depositions exist except the ones that they wanted to exist. So why do you destroy mountains and mountains of data? It's called a cover-up, that's why. The January 6th committee, the Stalinist Pelosi committee. Now, this committee was Pelosi's plaything. You know, the two reprobate Republicans she appointed were Trump haters, Dizzy Lizzy and Kinzinger. What a strange dude that is, too. So it's been my position that the fact that they destroyed records, the fact that they sent recommendation with a report to prosecutors at the United States Department of Justice and urged the criminal indictment of Donald Trump on a number of issues, including obstruction, that is not covered by the speech and debate clause in the Constitution. That is, members of Congress cannot be questioned in any way about the things that they say as part of their duties, typically on the floor of the House. The court has extended that to other areas, press conferences and so forth. But if you're out of your lane, that is, there's really no congressional justification for what you're doing, and you are sending recommendations to another branch of government, the executive branch, into the criminal division and prosecutors at the Department of Justice with information, urging them to indict the former president who's running for president, that is not covered by the speech and debate clause in my view. And my view, I believe, is 100% correct. It's not a stretch. Now, that said, if there's exculpatory information for Donald Trump or anybody else who's been charged, and you don't provide it, and you have it as a committee, or you destroy it, even worse, and they destroyed a ton of data and information, then you've committed a crime. You've committed obstruction. And the Committee of Congress overseeing this now by Representative Loudermilk, he has said that obstruction statute is 18 U.S.C. 1512. Now, ironically, that's the same obstruction statute that they tried to use against Donald Trump and the January 6ers, and then the Enron statute. But in this case, it has more plausibility for reasons I don't need to get into. But the point is this. Liz Cheney, every member of that committee, Jamie Raskin, Kinzinger, Thompson, Bennie Thompson, and the others, they need to answer for this. They need to answer for records that were destroyed, who ordered them destroyed, what was destroyed. Because they destroyed these records. The Democrats controlled the House. Literally weeks before the Republicans took the House, not in this cycle, the cycle before, they started destroying records. And Louderback told me on my radio show, and told all of you, almost no video depositions exist except the ones that they wanted to exist. So why do you destroy mountains and mountains of data? It's called a cover-up, that's why, because you want to obstruct. And also, when you're tampering with evidence like this and witness testimony, it's called witness tampering. Witness tampering. And so once you've left the congressional bubble of speech and debate, and you're over here at the Department of Justice in the executive branch pushing for criminal charges against Donald Trump and others, you're no longer covered by speech and debate. You've left speech and debate. You're now in action, action, action right there in the heart of another branch of government. So this is very, very important. So take a look at this. This is CNN this morning with Casey Hunt a few days back. Trump issues middle of the night threat to Liz Cheney. Oh my God, can't do that. Go.
Donald Trump, just weeks away from being invested with the immense powers of the presidency, calling for a criminal investigation into Liz Cheney over witness tampering after a report from House Republicans singled her out.
Now, what's interesting about this is I talked about all this past weekend on the January 6th committee about witness tampering, obstruction, not covered by speech and debate, that is, not immunized. And this report that came out in the cover letter and so forth basically says exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. I believe they issued it, it was on Tuesday perhaps. So we have an impact. You know, I'm not saying people are plagiarizing or anything. It doesn't bother me if they do, if it's for the right cause, if it's for the mission. But there's been a lot of debate, well, congressmen can't be charged and committees can't be charged. They can, if they step outside the protective zone into another branch, literally trying to influence a criminal investigation for the purpose of having somebody indicted. That is not what the framers considered speech and debate on the floor of the House or the Senate, you know, yelling at the top of your lungs about something, defaming somebody, and so that's protected. You can't be sued for your official duties, but it's not your official congressional duty to be pushing for criminal charges against somebody in the other branch of government. Go.
Accusing her of colluding with a witness on the January 6th committee and recommending she be investigated for possible criminal prosecution. The president-elect weighing in on Tuesday's report just 3 hours ago, saying this on his Truth Social platform, quote, Liz Cheney could be in a lot of trouble based on the evidence obtained by the subcommittee, which states that numerous federal laws were likely broken by Liz Cheney, and these violations should be investigated by the FBI, end quote, 3:11 a.m. this morning. The president-elect there, referring to the report released yesterday by a Republican-controlled House.
Republican-controlled House subcommittee. Do you ever hear them talk about Democrat-controlled House committee? Never. Democrat-controlled January 6th committee? Never. Go ahead.
Alleging what it called, quote, the failures and politicization of the January 6th Select Committee, end quote. The report calls the committee, quote, a political weapon with a singular focus to deceive the public into blaming President Trump for the violence on January 6th.
Okay, thank you, Casey Hunt, another nobody with a journalism degree, given a podium at CNN, which has no ratings. As a matter of fact, my guess is that my having played it here for Blaze, that has more eyes on it than it did when CNN ran with it, because CNN is a useless carbon footprint, just like MSNBC. And Casey Hunt, her next job is going to be on airport radar or sonogram, which has more viewers than CNN. There'll be more on this, and I do believe that the Justice Department under Donald Trump should pursue this, and I guarantee you that Pam Bondi, who would be a superb attorney general, and I support her 100%, that she'll be grilled about this, because what Congress doesn't want is to be held accountable, especially the Democrats. And January 6th is their July 4th. For them, that's the great day, January 6th. So they're going to want to protect the history that they've created, the false history that they've created around most of that.
For all this and much more, sign up for Levin TV.